Hello and thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I am Lami Ali. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website nca.ng/live and on YouTube channel NCA News Online, Twitter at NCA News Now. You can also visit our Facebook page NCA Network News and Instagram NCA Network for updates. Now, Nigerian entrepreneurs and investors have been tasked to emulate the Dangote Industries Limited by channeling their ideas and resources towards creating firm anchors of enduring economic prosperity for the nation through massive investments in worthy enterprises. President Muhammadu Buhari, who threw the challenge while granting audience to the chairman and board of directors of Dangote Group of Companies, promised to sustain efforts at implementing needed reforms towards improving the ease of doing business. Now, State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has details on that story.
Exactly 1 month ago, President Muhammadu Buhari at Ipeju-Lekki inaugurated the new $2.5 billion Dangote fertilizer plant, regarded as Africa's largest granulated urea fertilizer complex and the second largest of such plants in the world. Receiving the chairman and board of directors of Dangote Industries Limited on a thank you visit for the honor done to them, the president maintains that the coming on stream of the fertilizer plant was a most welcome booster to his administration's strategy towards achieving food security and reducing poverty.
Given recent developments globally, especially the effect of the ongoing war in Europe on worldwide food supply chain, I must commend your foresight for bringing the plant into operation at the time you did. I know that market realities will bring pressure to bear on Dangote Fertilizer Limited to seek to meet the demands of your export customers. However, given your group's well-known patriotic vision, I am confident that your board will continue to accord priority to meet local demands of our farmers.
Apart from noting the scope and scale of the business empire of Dangote Group and its positive impact on the nation's economy, the president is also delighted that the company is also committed to not only growing existing investments to enhance wealth and job creation, but also seeking new opportunities to help Nigeria's economic diversification drive.
I want to assure you that the government will do everything possible to enhance development in infrastructure, especially in energy and transportation sectors. We will also continue to implement needed reforms in the public service to significantly improve the ease of doing business. Entrepreneurs such as Alhaji Aliko Dangote are unique gifts to their societies and the institutions they build, and they often become the pillars of stable, enduring, prosperous economies.
The chairman of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, had told the president that despite the unprecedented challenges faced, especially over the past 5 years, Dangote Industries Limited remains strongly committed to the pursuit of its vision to becoming the leading provider of the people's essential needs in food, shelter, and energy services.
Our belief is that our country has the potential to be a strong industrial nation capable of not only meeting its basic needs of our citizens, but making significant contributions to Africa's economic transformation. We firmly believe that Nigeria will be the powerhouse of the continent's inclusive and sustainable economic development through industrialization, and strategic diversification.
He described President Buhari's unequivocal commitment to the creation of an inclusive, diversified, and resilient economy based on the promotion of domestic productive capacity as a source of great strength and encouragement. Dangote Group also subscribes fully to the economic policy stance of the government aimed at ensuring that the nation produces what it consumes and consumes what it produces, which it believes is a call to action. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And away from business, President Muhammadu Buhari says no responsive and responsible government can ignore the role of religious and traditional rulers in tackling insecurity in the country. Speaking at an iftar dinner with religious and traditional rulers, the president said his administration will continue to count on the invaluable advice and guidance of members of the revered institutions towards improving the current security challenges in the country. He said moving Nigeria forward remains a collective responsibility and therefore urged leaders at all levels to contribute meaningfully in making the country a better place.
Today, insecurity is one of the greatest challenges facing Nigeria's existence. This administration has invested more resources than any other to tackle insecurity. We have acquired advanced equipment for our armed forces and the police to strengthen their capacity to confront terrorism and banditry. We have made adequate budgetary allocations for security. Whatever the security agencies request, I made it available to them immediately. But insecurity is a worldwide phenomenon. The cure and the answer is for all sections of society to do their bit and confront the criminals head-on. The success of our armed forces and other security forces also depends on intelligence about the activities of bandits and terrorists.
The Oni of Ife, Obade Nitan Ogunsi, and the General Secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Joseph Daramola, thanked the president for demonstrating high sense of responsibility in the discharge of duties. The Oni in particular commended the federal government for the way and manner the COVID-19 pandemic was promptly responded to and contained in the country.
There are so many positive things to celebrate. Yes, there are challenges, but let us look at more of our strengths than our weaknesses. On behalf of my brother kings, my brother monarchs, from the north all the way to the southern Nigeria, we will continue to pray for you. We will continue to do what we are supposed to do. Any key decision making in this country, one way or the other, you carry us along. On this note, I want to use this medium to say show appreciation for you and to you, and keep up the good work.
Now, First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, has enjoined the spouses of the Nigerian legislators to continue using their soft power in convincing their husbands to support more gender-friendly legislations to ensure more women participate in governance and other decision-making processes. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports that the First Lady stated this during the breaking of Ramadan fast in honor of the female legislators as well as the spouses of the Nigerian lawmakers and other Nigerian women.
Distinguished guests, today's iftar is deliberately planned to create an opportunity to dine and understand ourselves as wives, mothers, and leaders of this nation. Our role as partners in progress is key to the development of this nation, particularly in fostering peace and unity in the country. I would therefore like to encourage us all not to relent on our efforts and support each other, especially in making the right choices in choosing our leaders. When we work together and understand each other, our future and the future of our children becomes secure. We have laughed and chatted with one another. We've exchanged numbers. We've interacted with one another, especially at this time, a time of devotion, a time of meditation, and a time of prayer. A lot of things come up in our minds for ourselves, our families, and our nation.
Women from all walks of life, including the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tallen, and the wife of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Salamatu Gbajabiamila, promise to continue steering the advocacy of women emancipation in Nigeria, particularly the realization of the affirmative action.
Not only about involving women in the decision-making process, but empowerment is also about accepting women's thoughts and viewpoints. In this regard, it gives me great pleasure knowing that the 9th Assembly has pushed for 2 landmark bills, the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act and the Gender Equality Opportunity Bill. We want you to please handhold us from here. As our women come out to aspire, let it not stop at aspiration. Let it transit to candidacy, and from candidacy to delivering women who will effectively represent Nigeria.
The annual iftar was also attended by the former First Lady of Niger Republic, Laila Malika Yusufu. Now, after meeting with the All Progressives Congress governors and members of the National Assembly, APC caucus, Vice President Jimmy Oshibajo, in continuation of his consultation, meets with the Oyo State delegates to the party's national convention coming up soon. State House correspondent Gideon Ifadi brings us the details. We apologize for the lack of audio in that report. Moving on now, the United Nations World Tourism Organization has awarded 100 Tourism Online Academy scholarships to Nigerians willing to undertake basic training in the field of tourism. This gesture comes on the heels of Nigeria signing an agreement to host the maiden UNWTO Global Conference on Cultural Tourism and Creative Industry, expected to be held in Lagos, November this year. Anthony Forson has the reports.
It was an informal one, a dinner hosted by the UNWTO in honor of the minister and his delegation. Secretary General of the organization, Zurab Pololikashvili, used the opportunity to formally present the offer to the minister. He said the World Tourism Organization recognizes the efforts of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and in particular the minister's interest to empower youths and boost quality education, hence the award of the scholarship. Pololikashvili explained that the scholarship will lead to the award of certificate in Introduction to Tourism Industry Management. Responding to the scholarship offer, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed expressed saying criteria for selecting beneficiaries will be announced soon.
The idea is to get young people to get interested in tourism early in life and learn the basic tools of tourism in a manner that many of them will be encouraged to understand what tourism is all about and probably choose tourism as a profession. It's being given to Nigeria recognition of the ministry's contribution to UNWTO, our contribution to the growth of tourism, our passion, and commitment to tourism. The UNWTO Online Academy would give us the criteria, we will publish the criteria, and it would now, advertise or use whatever method is possible, working with other agencies under the Tourism and Culture Ministry to choose the best 100 people that will benefit from this grant. Of course, we are going to also work, closely with professional association organizations.
The UNWTO Tourism Scholarship is a partnership between the World Tourism Organization and IE University in Madrid, Spain. Anthony Forson, NTA News.
To the National Assembly now, where the House of Representatives is seeking answers from relevant authorities on why refineries in the country have remained shut since 2019. The Port Harcourt, Warri and Kaduna refineries have since 2010 been operating at a loss, and their closure is said to be taking a toll on the economy. I was there for NTA News at the investigative hearing. The resumed sitting of the committee, the chairman, Abdul Ganiu Johnson, says federal government has expended huge sums of money to rehabilitate the Port Harcourt, Kaduna and Warri refineries to reduce the financial burden of fuel imports, but all to no avail.
The committee is aware that the NNPC recently awarded contracts for rehabilitation of refineries in the following sums: Warri, 900 million, Port Harcourt, $1.5 billion, Kaduna, $1.3 million.
From the information available to us here, all the figures mentioned, the contracts have been awarded, a job completed in our records and in our books. But we are wondering why the refineries are not working.
And also the issue now run around importation of refined petroleum products, while we have 4 refineries in the country.
The ad hoc committee says the non-appearance of the Minister of State Petroleum Resources, the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, and the general managers of the 3 refineries is stalling the investigation. The committee gave the concerned government agencies 1 week to appear and make available all information and documents requested. The ad hoc committee was set up to determine the true state of refineries, ascertain the actual cause of rehabilitation, and what is needed to have them function at maximum capacity. From the National Assembly. The Nigeria Governors Forum has expressed its commitment to intensify war against illicit drug trafficking and abuse, a lead factor for growing cases of insecurity in parts of the country. The forum, in its 4th teleconference in the year, promised to strengthen the collaboration with NDLEA to tackle the menace head-on and prosecute peddlers no matter their status in the society through enhanced operational synergy. Nigeria Governors Forum also resolved to combat outbreaks of Lassa fever, measles and cases of meningitis in parts of the country and pledged to sustain immunization and strengthen epidemic preparedness and response strategy with the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and global partners. NGF says it will improve public financial management outcomes and promote adoption of e-procurements and open contracting data standards under state transparency, accountability, and sustainability. Celebrated within the United Nations 2020-2030 Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, International Earth Day 2022 is being commemorated to promote harmony with nature and the earth. Onengie Fineface has the report.
Climate change, which is man-made changes to nature, as well as crimes that disrupt biological diversity, is accelerating the speed of destruction of the planet. Celebrating International Earth Day this year, 2022, serves as a reminder for the global community to shift to a sustainable economy that works for people and planet.
Today, the Earth is facing a triple planetary crisis: climate disruption, nature and biodiversity loss, pollution and waste. Let us make sure our leaders bring the ambition and action needed to address our triple planetary emergency. Because we have only one Mother Earth, we must do everything we can to protect her.
In Nigeria, there is a renewed advocacy for the promotion of natural ecosystems, which are also clean economic sources for the nation.
To reduce methane use and emissions that come from agriculture. The world takes care of us and wants to take care of us if we can take care of it. We want our children to live without plastic in their blood. We want our children to breathe clean air.
Our earth, because it is just this one earth that we have, and we want to make sure we protect it for the future, for our generation and the generations to come.
Earth Day 2022 also seeks to promote the restoration of damaged ecosystems to reduce poverty and combat climate change. Onengiye Fine Face, NT News.
To religious matters now, Islamic scholars have advised Muslims to intensify prayers, especially during the last 10 days of Ramadan, as the reward and benefits could turn around any misfortune a nation might be facing. In this report, Governor Ta'ala takes a look at the significance of the last 10 days, in which the Night of Majesty, believed by Muslims to be, is worth 1,000 months.
It is that period again. The last 10 days of Ramadan is there as Laylatul Qadr, meaning the Night of Majesty, which is described in the Holy Quran as far better than 1,000 months. It is also within this period that the doors of paradise are said to be opened, and angels descend closer to the world, being a period of mercy and blessings. Here are Islamic scholars on the significance of the last 10 days of Ramadan.
Allah in His infinite mercy made mention in the Holy Quran that Quran was revealed in the night of majesty, that is Laylatul Qadr. So Laylatul Qadr is between these last 10 days.
Anybody that call on Allah at that time, Allah will answer his prayer. Even non-Muslim, that they say because they know God exists, and they say, God, this is what we want, Allah will give it to them. It is now a challenge to us, the Muslims, that do not waste your time.
Some Muslims also speak on how they intend to utilize the period.
So we should also endeavor to include our country, Nigeria, in our prayers, our leaders, and in the coming election.
I pray for peace in Nigeria.
The rewards are too enticing for the faithful to intensify worship with the hope of witnessing Laylatul Qadr, which is expected to fall on any of the odd nights of the last 10 days. In Abuja, Garba Natala, NTA News.
And joining me in the studio for additional information on the last 10 days of Ramadan is the Chief Imam of Area 10 Jumat Mosque, Garuki, Abuja, Yahya Garba Ali Yolawi. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide.
Thank you so much.
Now, what is the significance of the last 10 days of the Ramadan to the Islamic faith?
Alhamdulillah, the significance, that is the important or the benefits of last 10 days of Ramadan to the Muslim Ummah is something that you can never overemphasize. Why? Because it is very important, at least to be witness it once in your lifetime. And alhamdulillah, we are opportunity to have it, if it is 2, 3, 4, some week, even have it 5 times, 10 times, depend on the years Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you in this life. Now, why we say it is highly important? Because this night, that is considered the night hours, they are the most important nights in the whole 360 days. That is what the scholar says. Why? Because of the night, the Laylatul Qadr, that is the night of power, night of decree, night of majesty. That night is considered to be khayru min alfi shahr, that is more than 1,000 months of devotion, that equivalent to 83 6 months. Yes.
Now, Laylatul Qadr, also known as Night of Majesty.
Yes.
How can one attain that night? You've spoken of the importance. Yes,
very important. Now one need to perfect himself. One need to devote and increase in devotion and prayers on these days. Why? Because to achieve and to attain the what is prescribed for those who have been able to come out midnight and perform prayers. Midnight prayers is paramount there. This is the key. Why? Because Laylatul Qadr, we are talking about Laylatul Qadr, that's Qiyamul Layl. Wake up and pray. The Prophet ﷺ has been reported from Ummina Aisha that when it is last 10 days of Ramadan, he used to wake up his family and he used to starting his belts. That is, he used to hard work. Look at, he has been forgiven all his sin, but he want to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by all means, that is most especially that is the prayers, and he used to pray all night. That is the Prophet, and now we are asked to emulate him and want to have our sin forgiven, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it one of the odd numbers. So we should try and strive to perfect it when it is, that is 21st, 23rd, 25th, 27th, and 29th. People should seek the night of majesty, night of power on that night. Very important.
Yeah, Muslims are encouraged to engage in several voluntary activities of the Islamic faith during the blessed month of Ramadan. Now, there are two categories of nafila prayers that are carried out by Muslims. That is, we have the tahajjud, we have the tarawih prayers. Now, what is the difference between these two?
Yes, actually the names differentiates it between the two, the tahajjud and tarawih. Tahajjud is all about, that is midnight prayers, and tarawih is the one that is coming around 8 o'clock. That is considered to be lesser and to be surface like this, that it is not that deep, it is not that long, considered to what in tahajjud, but they are all considered as qiyamul layl. When we say qiyamul layl, is encompasses that yes, you have woke up and pray voluntary, or that is nawafil, that you are seeking Allah's mercy and pleasure, and may He accept your prayers.
Now, should one do both during the last 10 days, or you can just do your tarawih, or you can just go for the tahajjud?
Why not? You can do both. You can even add. How? After doing the tarawih, you come and eat, and maybe you sleep waiting for tahajjud. After tahajjud, you may finish before 4 o'clock, and you want to add, and you have your own personal issues, you want to say it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is before Fajr. You can do it. After the Imam has finished his own, mark you, don't do two witr at the same time. If you are able to do witr with your Imam in tahajjud, don't come and do another one. But you can do 2 rakah, and supplicate.
Thank you very much, Imam Yahya Garba Al-Yulawi, for the additional information on the last 10 days of Ramadan.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Now, Nationwide continues in our Lagos studio with Adeola. It's over to you, Adeola.
Thank you, Lami. And still on the blessed month of Ramadan, the last 10 days of Ramadan remains crucial to all Muslim faithful, as it provides time to reflect, search deep into the Quran for more knowledge with a view to seeking closeness to Allah. While the period is regarded as sacred and an important obligation for Muslims, scholars have emphasized on the need for the holy month to reflect in character and spiritual life of all. Abolade Salami reports.
The long month spiritual exercise stems from Allah's injunction in the Holy Quran, which mandates Muslim faithful to observe the Ramadan fast. Part of best practice in this holy month is constant recitation of the Quran, which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be unto him, in the month of Ramadan.
One is fortunate of being up and prayer, in that night. It is equivalent to worshiping Allah for more than 1,000 months.
The last 10 days of the fasting exercise is a prophetic tradition for the faithful to engage in seclusion or itikaf in obedience to Allah's instruction.
We should use the opportunity effectively. We should wake up in the night. We should ask favor from Allah, and we should also encourage one another, in the act of ibadah.
A prophetic prayer point is to be emphasized during this period to precede the celebration of Eid al-Fitr.
The activities to climax it in the last 10 days. Intensify what we have been doing before. In fact, if I can say triple what I've been doing before, because of the more benefits in it.
Is the Laylatul Qadr. We are searching for Laylatul Qadr in the last 10 days of Ramadan. Inshallah, if we get it, Allah will fulfill our desires.
While it is permissible to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, scholars advised Muslims of the obligations after the holy month of Ramadan. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
And now from religious, we go to the legislative matters. Lagos State House of Assembly has passed a bill to amend Public Petition, Anti-Corruption and Transparency Commission law. The bill was passed at a plenary session presided over by the Deputy Speaker, Wasiu Shilokun Sani, in Lagos. Musa Toliat reports.
The Public Petition and Anti-Corruption Amendment Bill was passed at the plenary session after the bill scaled the third reading on the floor of the Assembly. Majority Leader Sanai Agumbiade moved the motion for the passage of the bill.
With your kind permission, Mr. Speaker, I move that the Lagos State Public Petitions and Anti-Corruption Amendment Bill 2022 be read for the third time.
It gives me a great pleasure to read for the third time a bill for a law to amend the Lagos State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption and Transparency Commission Law 2021.
For a law to amend the Lagos State Public Petitions, Anti-Corruption and Transparency Commission Law to be passed into law. All those in favor say aye. All those who are against say nay. The ayes have it.
The forthcoming APC party primaries and Islamic Eid holiday necessitated the adjournment of sitting at the Lagos State House of Assembly till June 2nd this year. In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
Those are the stories from Lagos this time, but remember that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News. Our Twitter handle is at NTA News Now, and on Instagram, NTA Network for updates. We will take our first break, and when we return, Mina in Enugu will give us stories from that zone. To stay on to Nationwide.
Good evening and welcome to Enugu. Resolved to utilize the opportunity provided by the training and the startup packs to improve lives as well as contribute meaningfully to the Nigerian economy will actualize the policy objectives of the federal government. These were the words of the Director General Industrial Training Fund, Dr. Joseph Ari, to the beneficiaries of its 2021 National Industrial Skills Development Program recently rounded off in Enugu. Chinenwe reports.
About all the things you need to put in place when you are doing events management and rendering catering services for the public consumption.
I thought that plumbers were anyhow people. But I never knew that plumbers are people that you cannot tolerate. Plumbers are builders.
Konsisochukwu Eze and Wisdom Mubani are among the 270 beneficiaries of the 2021 National Industrial Skills Development Program of the Industrial Training Fund, ITF. For 3 months, these beneficiaries in Enugu State were trained in various skills and trades. The Director General Industrial Training Fund says the program was initiated to, among other things, facilitate the achievement of the federal government's policy on job and wealth creation.
ITF is majorly concerned to ensure that the Nigerian youth have skills, they acquire skills that will get themselves gainfully employed, and they will also be impactful to the Nigerian nation.
Having been equipped with the necessary skills, certificates, and startup packs, the beneficiaries of the program can now thrive as employers of labor or as entrepreneurs.
We have a way we call the tracking system. We have their addresses, we have their phone numbers. We call them once in a while to know how they are faring.
Since the inception of the program, 3,905 Nigerian youths have been equipped with skills in various trades. In Enugu, Chinenye Nwoye, NTA News.
The recent increase in domestic violence, especially among married couples, is considered a gross violation of human rights and must be urgently tackled to avoid severe consequences in the society. This is the view of some residents of Owerri who condemned the negative trend. Rina Obasi tells us more.
The increasing rate of domestic violence, especially among couples, has become a source of worry. Just recently, the social media was awash with the story of the demise of a renowned gospel singer, Hosna Chumachukwu, who was alleged to have been abused by her husband, resulting to her death. This is one out of many cases of the ugly trend, which is attracting reactions from different quarters. Some clerics describe domestic violence as barbaric, attributing it to lack of proper home training.
Young man comes out and see a beautiful lady and what have you, he's trying to buy. Others marry because of politics, marrying from a wealthy family or a kingly family, so that you will have a political advantage. Others marry because of money. So those things have nothing to do with what God called marriage.
People are so impatient with one another that they cannot wait to see the good coming out of something.
Rights activists say the solution to domestic violence begins with speaking out.
It could be physical, it could be verbal, could be financial deprivation. Is a sign of domestic violence. Speak out.
The fact remains that domestic violence leaves a dent in the psychological makeup of the victim, which takes a negative turn on the society. Hence, they need to put an end to it. In Owerri, Rina Obasi, NTA News.
And that's a bit from here. It's back to Lame in Abuja for a continuation of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Mina. Now, the President, Ebele Anyichuk's foundation, Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwuma Udi, has assured the people of Ebonyi State that he will continue to use his foundation to impact on the people's lives positively across the 13 council areas of the state. Dr. Odi stated this during his birthday anniversary, which coincided with the 2022 Easter celebration at the Anioma Isokoma Onisha local government area of the state. Kanayo Okoro reports that Dr. Odi is a governorship aspirant of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the state.
It wants to show solidarity and celebrate one of their own that have worked tirelessly to put smiles on their faces that made different interest groups to converge on Caribbean International Airport, Enugu, to receive Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwuma Odi as he marked his 45th birthday. Addressing the people at his country home, celebrants Dr. Ifeanyi Chukwuma Odi said he has dedicated his life to live for the people, stressing that in the years ahead, he will concentrate on his philanthropic gestures.
My message to you today, on the occasion of my birthday, which coincides with the Holy Easter celebration, it's a message of hope to all Ebonians. I'm prepared to put my best in defense of the interest of the people, and I'm convinced that God shall see us through.
Some of the people at the event, including Kubana Chief Priest, while wishing him well, pledged to support his political aspiration.
And I want all of you guys to come together and support this man because he's taking Ebonyi to the next level. We are coming to create wealth for the people.
This celebration today, God is going to inspire you and empower you to do more.
We are going to offer to reduce graduate unemployment in the state to 0. That is our wish for you.
Look around. It shows that people are very much in love with you. It shows that people appreciate all you've been doing around the state.
Cutting of birthday cake and musical tunes climax the event.
Jesus.
In Abakaliki, Kana Yokoro, NTA News.
And from Ebonyi, we move to Sokoto, where Asma'u will be our guide on Nationwide. It's over to you, Asma'u.
Many thanks, Lami. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. The federal government has reiterated commitment to support irrigation farming in the country. The Director, Irrigation and Drainage Department, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Mrs. Esther Oyeronke Olunei, restated the commitment while distributing tube wells and water pumps to irrigation farmers in Kebbi State. Usman Abdullahi Shehu has the report.
Dozens of registered farmers converge on the office premises of the Rofalda Project RIMA in Burning Kebbi for for the free support of completed tube wells and water pumps machines to improve their irrigation activities. The Director, Irrigation and Drainage Department, Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Mrs. Esther Oyeronke Olunuyi, said the project is aimed to bring 700 hectares of land under irrigation, with 8,400 participating farmers as target beneficiaries, a step to alleviate poverty and improve food security in the country.
This will provide employment for the beneficiaries. It will improve their livelihood. It will reduce rural-urban migration. It will also stem insecurity, because when people are actively engaged, they won't be thinking of negative things to be done.
The Managing Director, Sokoto Rima Basin Development Authority, Buhari Bature, said the project is in phases and the ministry will continue to empower as many farmers as possible in complementing federal government determination to attain the national food security and sufficiency.
For the farmers are very familiar with how to use it because they have been using it, and we have advised them to use it effectively to make sure that the effort is not wasted.
Many in their goodwill messages acknowledge President Muhammadu Buhari's administration's determination in the agricultural sector of the country. Some of the beneficiaries express appreciation to the remarkable gesture. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
Zamfara State Government has reaffirmed its commitment to settle medical bills of terrorist attack victims across the state with a view to mitigating their suffering. The State Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Faiqa Ahmad, stated this while presenting cash assistance to one of the survivors of the recent terrorist attack in Bungudu local government area of the state, who is currently receiving medical attention. Jamilu Ibrahim has more.
Some terrorists recently attacked Tungarmasu community in Bungudu local government area of Zamfara state, where they killed many people and destroyed property worth millions of naira. One of the victims, Zarau Ismail, who was shot in her private part and also sustained a fracture on her right leg, is currently receiving treatment at Yerima Bakura Specialist Hospital, Gusau.
She was brought to this facility with injury. In fact, her vulva has been destroyed completely, and she sustained fracture on the femur, on the right femur. So we have been seeking for help.
This prompted Zamfara state government to settle all the medical bill of the patient, as well as donated some cash to her. Zamfara State Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Faiqa Ahmad, presented the donation on behalf of the state government.
Although we have paid the hospital bills in full, we have paid for all the surgeries because she requires 2 surgeries apparently from the discussion I had with the doctors. But we are also here to give her some money. The money is just to support her financially.
The commissioner reiterated Zamfara state government's commitment to continue to settle medical bills of all victims of terrorism across the state. Meanwhile, Zamfara State Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development has presented cash and some other relief items to other patients currently receiving treatment at the hospital.
There are many items inside that bag. We have soft and milk, as well as Maclean and Rafa and other items.
The patients, who are full of gratitude to Zamfara State government for the concern, also prayed for the restoration of lasting peace in the state and the country as a whole. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
And a quick reminder that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Twitter at NTA News Now, our Facebook page, NTA Network News, and Instagram at NTA Network for updates. And that's it from here. Nationwide will continue with Susan in Makodi right after these messages. Please stay.
Thank you for joining us in Makudi. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, says the Nigerian Army will continue to boost troops' morale and give priority to their well-being. He said this at the first 2022 Project Management Workshop and inauguration of some projects at the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering, NASME. in Makudi. Sandra Dorwese Akeme reports that the Chief of Army Staff was represented by the Chief of Logistics, Major General Omotomilola Akintade.
That was the Chief of Logistics, Major General Omotomilola Akintade, at the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering during the inauguration of a new signpost and planting of trees at the barracks. This inauguration followed by a workshop tagged Capacity Development for Efficient Project Management in the Nigerian Army, according to the Chief of Army Staff, is to build a professional Nigerian Army ready to accomplish assigned missions within a joint environment in defense of Nigeria. He assured that his vision has informed the construction and rehabilitation of numerous facilities across the Nigerian Army formations, which ranges from accommodation, office complexes, training schools, and other support facilities.
We have our barracks all over Nigeria, and we build our barracks and we also maintain them. And up till now, there has not been any case of any collapse of any building in the barracks.
Take it as a step towards building the human resources that will be required for the Nigerian Army engineers to drive its strategy for participation in national development.
The event also featured presentations from resource persons within and outside the military. In Makudi, Sandra Louisi Akeme, NTA News.
Some subscribers in Makudi have expressed displeasure over the poor quality of service they have been experiencing during the NIN-SIM linkage exercise. Correspondent Simbiat Agbaji reports that those with bad lines for non-compliance with the SIM registration policy say they are experiencing a torturous time in efforts to normalize the situation.
In the year 2020, Communications Minister Issa Pantami announced 30th December as deadline for NIN-SIM linkage. Since then, the deadline has been extended 9 times to allow more Nigerians enroll. On the 4th of April this year, many Nigerians were barred from making calls from their SIM cards following the federal government's directive that failure to link their national identity number NIN to their phone numbers by users be so sanctioned. Consequently, many phone users have thronged offices of the National Identity Management Commission NIMC and telecom operators to have their lines unbarred. There have been several complaints of lines who have remained barred even after the compliance of NIN-SIM linkage. Some Makudi residents who are making frantic efforts to have their lines reconnected say they were told by staff of NIMC to be patient as the process of uploading data to the portal takes at least a week as opposed to 1 to 3 days usually required as a result of traffic caused by bad telecom subscribers.
I mean, this is the second week. I'm still expectant that they will come out and bring my name.
When I came here, I put Nevka Peter Tezuwe. Then within my voter's card, I put Peter Nevka Amu. So I swept the names. The name has been changed.
I was asked that I should come back by 12. That the number, my picture capture is not familiar to the one currently, which I was like trying to let them understand that I'm no longer younger.
Officials of NIMC and telecom operators declined comments when NTA News approached their offices on the various complaints by subscribers. In Makudi, Simbiat Agbaji, NTA News.
And that's it from Makudi. It's back to Lami in Abuja for the concluding part of NTA Nationwide.
Thank you, Susan. And that's all we have time for Nationwide for today. We thank you for watching. Join us at 7 and 9 for more reports.